Breaking news tonight, the major explosion rocking a Pennsylvania nursing home. Emergency crews rushing to help people trapped inside. Flames and smoke shooting into the sky. The explosion leveling parts of the building, what we're learning at this hour. Also tonight, the biggest Epstein files drop yet, the newly released email claiming President Trump flew on Epstein's plane at least 8 times in the 90s. The passport with Epstein's photo and a false name. And the warning from the DOJ that some of the documents released are fake and the accusations are false. The body of missing 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard found after a month-long search. Her mom arrested, accused of killing her own daughter. The gruesome details coming in from police. The frantic search for survivors after a medical plane carrying a pediatric patient crashed into the water. One woman pulled from the wreckage alive. Dangerous winter weather pounding both coasts during the height of holiday travel. Snow slamming parts of the Northeast. Bill Caron's tracking a dire forecast for the West Coast when life-threatening floods could hit. Video of a teen tased on a school bus going viral. We speak with him about how the frightening confrontation took a violent turn. And a popular holiday dish recalled just days before Christmas. The store is pulling potentially radioactive shrimp from shelves. Plus, it's crunch time to get those final gifts. We'll tell you the best deals for last-minute shopping without the stress. Top story starts right now. Good evening. We start with that breaking news out of Pennsylvania. Massive explosion at a nursing home, reportedly trapping residents inside. The governor just announcing at least 2 people are dead. First responders rushing to the chaotic scene, working frantically to get people out. Video just in shows intense flames and thick black smoke shooting out from the building. You can see a number of people wrapped in emergency blankets on the lawn right there. Fire trucks and ambulances lined up, emergency crews working through the mangled rubble. You can see all that debris from the blast littered across the road. At this hour, we're learning more about those injured, older adults forced from their home just 2 days before Christmas. Our Stephanie Gosk has the late-breaking details. And Stephanie, we just got a major update, right?
Yeah, we did. The governor is on the scene there, so it gives you a good idea of just how seriously they are taking this. And he has been describing in detail the heroic rescue efforts on the scene, including the fact that there were times police climbing up ladders, and they were being handed some of the residents from within the home. Those police officers carrying sometimes 2 people on their backs to get them to safety. And we know from the power company, that the utility company, that they were called out to that scene, Tom, because there was reports of odors of gas. And they got there, and that's when the explosion occurred. The explosion tore through the nursing home in eastern Pennsylvania early this afternoon, leveling a portion of the building and igniting a blaze that filled the sky with black smoke.
Reporting explosion inside building.
Fire trucks and emergency vehicles raced to the scene to help rescue residents and staff from the burning building. Early concern that gas was involved.
Apparently it's a gas explosion. They said they have a large gas main actively leaking into the building.
Inside, firefighters radioing for help.
We need a rapid intervention team to the collapsed area. We have an active fire. We have 3 to 4 people trapped.
Moments later, the numbers go up.
We have 12 victims trapped, 1 in the elevator.
And there is an added worry. The basement is filling with water.
Need the basement water turned off urgently. We got people drowning down here.
Staff and neighbors gathered outside the burning building.
I just came out of my house because I was sitting in the kitchen and I just felt the whole floor shake.
Concerned for the patients and colleagues who may still be trapped.
Traumatized, worried about my co-workers and the patients. It's like a one big family in there.
Joey Juhas raced to the nursing home when he heard the news.
Horrible. It was just police and cops everywhere.
His father, in his 80s and battling Alzheimer's, is a resident at the home.
How hard is it to sit there waiting for answers?
You don't know what to do. You're just kind of waiting, and it's scary.
Those lucky enough to get out sat on the grass wrapped in sheets 2 days before Christmas, watching the terrifying scene unfold.
And with that, Stephanie Goss joins us now. Stephanie, we're getting an update on the casualties.
Yeah, the governor says that there have been 2 fatalities, but Tom, there are also people still missing tonight.
Yeah, and
not give numbers on how many.
Yeah, and the governor going over there, as you mentioned earlier, I mean, it speaks to like sort of the volume and what could have happened here and the dangers ahead.
Absolutely. And as this search was going on this afternoon, I mean, there was an aerial shot of just the response to the scene there, Tom, and it was enormous. The fire trucks circling that entire area.
Okay, Stephanie Goss monitoring this breaking news for us. Stephanie, we thank you for that. Now to that new batch of Epstein files, including new mentions of President Trump. The president has long distanced himself from Epstein, repeatedly saying the two had a significant falling out in the early 2000s. But now some of the nearly 30,000 docs just dropped, shedding new light on their relationship, including this email dating back to 2020. Take a look. A federal prosecutor writing, quote, Donald Trump traveled on Epstein's private jet many more times than previously had been reported, and he is listed as a passenger on at least 8 flights between 1993 and 1996. The DOJ also saying some of these documents contain untrue and sensationalist claims made about President Trump that were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. Also in the batch of files, this image of an Austrian passport showing a photo of Epstein. Our Ryan Nobles has the very latest.
Tonight, the Justice Department releasing its biggest batch yet of documents related to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, including this fake Austrian passport with Epstein's photo and a false name. The new release also includes documents that mention President Trump. In one email, a federal prosecutor, citing flight logs, says Trump was a passenger on at least 8 flights between 1993 and 1996, between New York and Florida on Epstein's jet. That he traveled with his then-wife Marla Maples, daughter Tiffany, and son Eric. And saying on another flight, the only 3 passengers are Epstein, Trump, and a 20-year-old whose name is redacted. The files also include this handwritten note, purportedly written by Epstein and sent to Dr. Larry Nassar, another notorious sex offender, including the quote, "Our president also shares our love of young nubile girls." But tonight, the Justice Department says the FBI concluded the letter is fake, saying the FBI determined the writing does not appear to match Jeffrey Epstein's. The letter was postmarked 3 days after Epstein's death and was sent from Northern Virginia when Epstein was jailed in New York, and that it did not include his inmate number, which is required for outgoing mail, calling it a reminder. Just because a document is released by the Department of Justice does not make the allegations or claims within the document factual. The president has said he broke off his relationship with Epstein decades ago, and President Trump has never been accused of any wrongdoing related to Epstein.
All right, Ryan joins us tonight live from Washington. Ryan, is there any reason to believe the FBI was targeting anyone beyond Epstein and Maxwell in their investigation?
Yes, Tom, there was a document that was revealed in this information that came out in today's drop that said at one point investigators were trying to interview as many as 10 different co-conspirators, but there isn't any other supporting documentation to talk about what happened next with those co-conspirators. Tonight, Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader, is demanding that the Department of Justice reveal more information about those co-conspirators and explain why they were not prosecuted. Tom?
Ryan Nobles with a lot of new reporting for us tonight. Ryan, thank you. Now to more breaking news we're following out of D.C. The Supreme Court delivering a big legal blow to President Trump today, ruling against his move to deploy National Guard troops to Illinois, including Chicago. NBC senior Homeland Security correspondent Julia Ainsley joins us tonight from D.C. So, Julia, this was a rare court loss for the president.
Yeah, that's right. When it comes to the Supreme Court, Tom, there have been some lower courts that have checked the president's power, especially on things like National Guard and when it comes to his decisions on immigration. But this court has routinely favored him, just recently saying they will take up the issue of birthright citizenship, where other lower courts have said that's in violation of the Constitution to try to end birthright citizenship. And also earlier this year saying that it was okay to make arrests based on someone's more than someone's race and language if it included something like where they work, that wasn't profiling when ICE makes those arrests. So this was unusual. But in this case, Tom, what the court is saying is that they will not grant an emergency stay on the lower courts that sought to end the National Guard, saying that they think the president needs to show his reasoning for federalizing these National Guard members in Illinois, not that this is the end all on this. If this does come back again to them from the lower courts, they'll have to make another decision.
And then, Julia, while we have you, does the Trump administration plan to push back on this at all? Do they have any options?
Well, it will be in those lower courts that they will battle this out. So now they'll go back and try to argue that they believe that the National Guard is needed. Look, the National Guard has been federalized in other times in our country's history. Think about during the Civil Rights Movement in the 60s. That was because President Lyndon Johnson thought that some of these southern states needed the federal National Guard in order to walk children into schools that were integrating. There have been times presidents have made the argument for the use of the National Guard. And so now the Trump administration can go back to the lower courts and argue why they think it's necessary to have National Guard in places like Illinois and places like Oregon and California, because they think that those states cannot handle either crime or protecting immigration agents that are enforcing immigration law in those areas, including immigration detention centers. Tom?
Okay, Julia Ainsley. Julia, we thank you for that. Tonight, a tragic update in the case of that missing 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard. Her mother behind bars tonight, accused of murdering her own daughter, as authorities reveal new details about what allegedly happened during Melodee's final days. Here's Dana Griffin.
Tonight, a California mother behind bars accused of killing her own daughter.
That this level of criminal activity is particularly shocking given the ruthlessness that went into actually committing the crime.
Investigators revealing 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard died from gunshot wounds to the head. Her body discovered this month in a remote area of Wayne County, Utah. Video shows the 40-year-old mom being led away today from her Santa Barbara County home in handcuffs. Investigators revealing Melodee likely died October 9th while on a 3-day road trip with her mother, Ashley. They were traveling in a white Chevy Malibu. The journey spanned 8 states. Along the way, investigators say the car's license plate was switched from California to New York to avoid detection. Investigators say the two were seen wearing wigs at this California car rental counter. On October 10th, Ashley returned home alone. Her daughter was nowhere to be found. 4 days later, Melodee's school alerted police after she had been absent. In November, Ashley Buzzard was arrested on false imprisonment charges not related to her daughter's disappearance. A judge later dropping the case, citing a lack of evidence.
The loss of a child is among the most profound tragedies any community can endure, particularly at the hand of the one who should have loved them the most.
A heartbreaking end to a months-long search.
Dana Griffin joins us tonight. Now, and Dana, you mentioned Ashley Buzzard was arrested and released in connection to a different case. The judge said that was due to a lack of evidence. Have police said more about the evidence they gathered to make this arrest, and have they found the murder weapon?
Absolutely. So, Tom, they have not found the murder weapon, nor have they found a motive, but they did release some information as to what they found when they issued those search warrants. They searched her home and a rental car. They weren't specific on if this was the exact rental car that they took during this trip, but we're assuming it is. They say they found one spent casing at her home and a similar live round inside the vehicle. Police say that Ashley remains uncooperative, but they believe that she acted alone and that they are not looking for any additional suspects. Tom?
Okay, Dana Griffin for us. Dana, thank you. Now to an update of that deadly plane crash in Texas we reported on last night. 6 people confirmed dead after a Mexican plane on a medical mission crashed in Galveston. Here's NBC's Priscilla Thompson.
Tonight, dramatic new video shows the frantic search for survivors in the moments after this private plane crashed into Galveston Bay.
Hey, she's still alive in here!
Flying through dense fog Monday, the plane operated by the Mexican Navy was carrying a pediatric burn patient from Mexico to get treatment at Shriners Hospital in Galveston, officials say.
We still got one screaming inside the airplane right now.
Sky Decker, seen in this video, rushing over to help.
What did you see?
Just a smashed plane. I could not have imagined that anybody could be alive in that airplane.
But miraculously, a woman was alive.
I could see the desperation in her eyes, and it was urgent. And luckily, I was able to get in there.
Later, a second survivor was also rescued. Oliver Henserling witnessed all of it.
When you all showed up to a scene where you thought nobody could have survived.
It was a miracle.
Today, wreckage was pulled from the water. Mexican officials say 6 passengers were killed, including that young patient. Telemundo speaking with the child's heartbroken father. This is something horrible that I wouldn't wish on anyone, he said.
And Tom, tonight search teams and investigators are wrapping up for the night as the NTSB says that they're investigating. Tom?
Thank you for that. Right now, millions in the Northeast facing a messy mix of rain and snow, and out west, nearly the entire state of California on edge with a dangerous storm already prompting evacuation orders. It comes as we enter the busiest stretch of holiday travel. NBC's Sam Brock has the latest from Newark.
The timing could hardly be worse. A crush of Christmas travelers squaring off against severe weather on both sides of the country. In California this morning, dire warnings from LA officials on the flood potential.
An atmospheric river is expected to deliver up to 10 inches of rain.
If you are told to evacuate, you've got to listen to them.
It's getting pretty bad. That atmospheric river already dumping more than 20 inches across parts of Northern California, creating scenes like this in Shasta, a car navigating feet of floodwater and bearing down on cities from San Francisco to San Diego. While on the East Coast, possible chaos for those on the move.
Like a herd of sheep just all being moved around.
Were you worried at all when you started to see some of the snow come down today and all the sleet?
I was terrified.
It's more dangerous on the interstate than it is in the air.
In fact, the rocky weather arriving at arguably the most dangerous driving time of the year. According to operations technology company Samsara, the daily crash risk jumps a whopping 45% today compared to earlier in the month, the highest of the holiday season. With some of the worst hotspots in the New York-New Jersey corridor, Port of Long Beach, California, and southeastern Massachusetts. All of it adding up to a tricky trek home.
It's important to hang out with your family and, have a great Christmas.
We'll take that advice. Sam Brock joins us tonight from Newark. So many trying to get to their families. So how's it looking behind you and with delays and cancellations?
So, Tom, this is kind of a typical day in American aviation. There's been somewhere in the neighborhood of 5,000 or so delays, only 130 cancellations. Now, work here at Newark tonight has traditionally had its fair share of issues, but things have run relatively smoothly. You see the security line over my shoulder. It's a little bit slower now, but at one point, security was stretching all the way across this entire terminal. That's about an entire football field length of space with just passengers trying to get on their flights. Newark in total had roughly 350 flights that were delayed, but Tom, only 2 cancellations. So crucial right now, as we know these folks are trying to get back home, see their loved ones. Tom, back to you.
Very good point. All right, Sam Brock, we thank you for that. Let's get right to NBC News meteorologist Bill Cairns. Bill, you're the man this week because there's a lot going on with the weather. Let's start out west there and walk us through this, your biggest concerns, if you will.
Yeah, in the next 24 hours. I think this time tomorrow we'll be talking about thousands of people without power in the West on Christmas Eve. Water rescues taking place with first responders involved. We'll likely have homes that get caught in landslides or mudslides. It's going to be that serious of a situation, all because of this huge storm, this little pinwheel that you're now seeing developed off the West Coast. So this storm is going to bring the high winds in overnight tonight all along the coast, and then the heavy rain is going to focus on Southern California especially. I paused this at 10 a.m. These are like thunderstorm, torrential rain going through Southern California. It'll last maybe 6 or 7 hours. If we get 1 inch per hour, you can do the math on that. We're going to get a quick batch of very heavy rain. And then we get a little bit of break Wednesday evening. But then we're not done. On Christmas Day, we continue with rounds of rain coming into the west. And then, of course, the high elevation snow. So rainfall totals will be the key with this because you just can't get this much rain without having significant problems. Plus, we got people driving in areas that they're not used to. So when we get 5 inches in downtown L.A. and in the mountains up to a foot, that's problematic. And then, Tom, on top of all of that, 47 million people are in high wind advisories or warnings. We could see wind gusts even up towards San Francisco and Monterey, upwards of 60 miles per hour. So we're going to have trees down. You got it all. Our hands are going to be full tomorrow with this storm.
Yeah, and then tomorrow's going to be one of the busiest days on the roads. How's the forecast looking?
Yeah, especially the rest of the country is looking amazingly good. I mean, a little too good. I mean, it's incredibly warm. Tomorrow's going to be 77 degrees in Oklahoma City. I mean, that's like, Memorial Day, not Christmas Eve. And we're going to see that warmth spreading. Memphis, Atlanta, all these areas are going to be in the mid-70s. So the airport's a problem in the west. Obviously, LAX is going to be a nightmare tomorrow. San Francisco, too. But everyone east of the Rockies is just fine Wednesday. And even into Christmas Day, there's really no weather problems east of the Rockies. All the problems are out west.
And then, on Christmas and the day after, another storm that you're tracking actually in the East Coast, New York area?
Yeah, it looks like we're going to be in for a little mini snowstorm from areas, maybe possibly Philadelphia, all the way up to New York City. If you have Friday evening plans, this could be a heavy, wet snow, maybe enough that to be plowable, too. So keep that in mind driving up I-95, all the airports here. And, of course, even on Friday, our friends out west can't catch a break.
On Friday, when does that action start here in New York?
It looks like New York City probably late afternoon into the evening, so that evening rush hour and then all the evening commute and all the festivities. That's going to be a lot of stuff getting canceled.
Try to travel early. Okay. Thanks so much, Bill. We're also following a deadly shooting tonight. There's been a lot of news out of Delaware. A state trooper and a suspect are dead following an incident at a DMV. It's unclear right now what prompted the active shooter situation. Let's get right to Johnny Archer from our NBC Philadelphia station, who's been on this one for us. He's on the scene in Newcastle, Delaware. Johnny, what more are we learning tonight about how this happened?
Well, that, Tom, is still under investigation right now. We're expecting to hear from Governor Matt Meyer within the next hour or so, and also Delaware State Police as well. They have not released a motive behind this shooting, but as you mentioned, a very tragic situation here in Newcastle County, Delaware, where that Delaware State Trooper was killed during this active shooter situation. I want you to take a live look down the street here. We're on Hessler Boulevard, if anybody has any familiarity with this area, just south of Wilmington. You can see that there are some police still on the scene right now, but if you push down the street where that flashing light is, just beyond that tow truck that is driving down the street, that's where the Wilmington DMV building is, and that's where that shooting happened earlier, a little after 2 o'clock this afternoon. There were other people inside that building at the time, and we just got some information from Delaware State Police that a second state trooper is being treated for minor non-shooting injuries. Also, another 40-year-old woman is also being treated for minor non-shooting injuries as well. But right now, they have not released the name of that state trooper that was killed in this situation, and they have not released the identity of the alleged suspect in this situation. But again, just a very tragic situation. I will say things have calmed down here now, where we are right now on Hessler Boulevard, but earlier today there was a massive response from first responders. Federal, state, local police officers flooded this entire street after 2 o'clock when the shooting happened. It was a sea of red and blue lights that flooded Hessler Boulevard. Right now you can see things have calmed down a bit. But again, the governor is expected to speak within the next hour or so. State police are also expected to speak within the next hour or so to give us a little bit more information about what exactly happened here. But just a tragic, tragic situation to happen around the holidays.
And Johnny, I think you sort of answered this, but there's no additional concerns or threats to the public?
Yeah, according to state police, the only suspect involved in this situation has been killed, and they have not identified any other type of threat to the local community.
All right, Johnny Archer on the scene for us. Johnny, we appreciate that. We're back in a moment here on Top Story with the chilling attack caught on camera. A man killed in New Jersey on a sidewalk after getting shot with a crossbow. What we're learning tonight. Plus, a teen who got tased by police on a school bus now speaking out. What he says happened in the moments leading up to this chaos. And an epic comeback for Lindsey Vonn, the 41-year-old skier, officially punching her ticket to the Winter Olympics. That's ahead on Top Story. We're back now with a disturbing video of a bizarre and deadly attack in New Jersey involving a crossbow and a fiery standoff with police. Emily Aketa has the latest on the murder investigation and the emotional message from the victim's widow tonight.
45-year-old Pablo Criollo was walking down the sidewalk when you hear the apparent snap of a crossbow in surveillance video. Criollo starts to stumble with something sticking out of his back, which we've highlighted. Authorities say he was shot and killed by the arrow in a brazen attack over the weekend in Kearney, New Jersey. His widow overwhelmed by grief at a growing memorial feet from the ambush, saying they killed him like an animal. Accused killer Oscar Fejo now facing murder, weapons, and arson charges. Because when officers had first approached him after the sidewalk killing, Fejo barricaded himself in his home and set fires on numerous floors during an hours-long standoff, according to investigators. You can see one first responder being pulled to safety amid the chaos. Fejo eventually left his home and was taken into custody, flanked by heavily armed officers. His attorney did not respond to our request for comment. A preliminary incident report tonight says he was a stranger to the victim, as loved ones are left to grapple with the 45-year-old father's sudden death. His wife saying, every morning my daughter is asking me about her father, what time he will come home.
And neighbors in the area of the attack describing Fejo as appearing unstable for some time. Prosecutors say additional charges are still expected. Tom.
Okay, Emily, thank you for that. Coming up, a car full of kids taking police on a wild pursuit. Wait till you hear this one. They saw it on a YouTube tutorial on how to steal vehicles, how it finally came to an end. Plus, the FDA signing off on the first weight loss pill. We'll hear from a doctor about what it means for access to the new version of that popular drug. We're back now with a disturbing video out of Georgia. A high school student repeatedly tased after refusing to get off a school bus. The driver says the student shouldn't have been on that bus in the first place, but he says he rode that bus every day. NBC's Kathy Park spoke to the 18-year-old late today.
Come on. This cell phone video capturing the chaotic moments on a Georgia school bus as officers are seen getting physical with high school senior Lanier Johnson Hunt before one officer pulls out a taser. Get up. Tonight, Lanier and his family demanding accountability after they say he was injured in the confrontation they call aggressive and unwarranted.
It's just scary because he could have died. Like, you tased him in the middle of his chest.
The 18-year-old says the situation escalated last Thursday after the driver told him he was on the wrong bus. But Lanier says he was on the right bus, the same one he's been riding regularly as a student at Langston Hughes High School. Administrators and then Fulton County Schools Police called on board after he refused to get off.
The bus driver pointed me out specifically. They told me to get off the bus. I refused. And when I had refused, they said, get up or we go tase you. I still refused to get off the bus.
Did you think maybe I should get off this bus so I don't get tased?
Honestly, I didn't think he would take it that far.
In total, how many times did you get tased?
It would have been 3.
Lanier says he never interacted with the officer before that day.
I wasn't aggressive. I wasn't being disrespectful.
He was eventually removed from the bus and handcuffed. Then he says the officer started slapping him. Fulton County School Police charged Lanier for resisting arrest, disorderly conduct, and obstruction. At a press conference today, he showed the burn scars left on his body from the taser.
Throughout the day, randomly, on my chest, my chest would just start burning. It feel like I'm on fire. It feel like somebody put gasoline and set it on fire on my chest.
This officer was unhinged and completely out of control.
The school district said the incident is being taken seriously and currently under review, and that the officer has been removed from active duty pending the outcome of an investigation. In a letter to the school community, administrators writing, "This was an isolated situation, and we are actively investigating the matter in coordination with the appropriate authorities." NBC News has reached out to school administrators for further comment and the Fulton County Schools Police Department, but have not heard back.
Okay, Kathy Park joins us now. Kathy, hard to see those images there. 2 questions first. Was Lanier on the right bus that he says he takes every day as a school? Confirmed that or said that's not true? And the second question is, does his family now plan on taking legal action for what happened to him when they got him off that bus?
Yeah, that was a question that was asked multiple times, and Lanier insisted that this was, in fact, his bus. This is something, the route that he takes day in and day out. In fact, before this incident, he actually took the bus the other day. So, yes, it was his bus, and according to the attorney, he verified that as well. But earlier today, there was that press conference, and his lawyer said that Lanier was also suspended as a result of this incident. So really the goal now is to get him back in school. So that's a priority after the holiday break. But yeah, his attorney said they will explore all avenues for legal action, and they haven't ruled out the possibility of filing a federal lawsuit to hold those accountable for what happened, Tom.
Okay, Kathy Park for us. Kathy, we thank you. We want to turn now to the top stories news feed. We start with former Republican Senator Ben Sasse announcing today he has been diagnosed with metastasized stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He represented Nebraska in the Senate from 2015 until 2023 when he resigned to become president of the University of Florida. And a family in Virginia helping each other escape a massive fire that ripped through their neighborhood and destroyed their home. Look at this. Here you can see the flames. The fire broke out on Saturday overnight. In an interview with NBC Washington, the mother credited smoke alarms and the fact that her family had a specific exit plan for helping her young children get out safely. The FDA issuing a new warning about more frozen shrimp that could be contaminated with the radioactive chemical. The agency says the new recall impacts nearly 84,000 bags of raw frozen shrimp from Indonesia, sold under two brands, Market 32 and Waterfront Bistro. They were sold across 17 states at popular stores, including Price Chopper and Albertsons. The FDA says no illnesses have been reported so far. And the incredible comeback continues for American skier Lindsey Vonn, the 41-year-old officially qualifying for the Winter Games in Italy. She made the announcement today on social media, writing she's honored to be representing Team USA in her fifth and final Olympics. A reminder, you can catch all the action from the 2026 Games right here on NBC and Peacock. Now to Top Stories Health Check, and a game changer when it comes to weight loss treatment. A pill version of Wegovy, the popular GLP-1 drug, getting FDA approval. And we are learning new information tonight about the first oral version of the drug, including the effectiveness of the treatment and how often it needs to be taken. So I want to bring in board-certified internist Dr. Amanda Khan. Doctor, thanks for joining Top Story tonight. Walk us through how this weight loss pill works. Is this something you have to take every day?
Yes, so it's semaglutide, which is the active ingredient in Ozempic, in Wegovy, and as you're saying, it's an oral formulation. We do already have an oral formulation of semaglutide. The brand name for that is Rybelsus. So this isn't really a new medication, but what's interesting is now being approved for obesity. So, but back to your question, you take it on an empty stomach once a day. The studies looked at up to, I believe, 64 to 68 weeks and saw similar improvement in body fat reduction compared to the injectable version that we know of called Wegovy. So I think it's a really interesting, new frontier in this weight loss landscape.
And so people usually have sometimes issues with shots. Is that why they're now offering this pill treatment?
Yes, I do find that some of my more needle averse or patients that are a little more needle phobic would tend to want an oral, version of this medication. So that's definitely a consideration.
Doctor, what is the kind of treatment plan recommended for this, and will this impact accessibility?
It will definitely make the drug more accessible. I think the price point is significantly lower. What I've heard is it's about $149 a month. I guess that's outside of insurance. If you weren't using insurance for something like Ozempic, those pens can be upwards of $1,000. So it does make it much more accessible. I think the daily oral dosing might be right for some patients, but some patients may, have issues with adherence, may not take it every day. You really have to adhere to this dosing regimen of once a day on an empty stomach. So that's already similar to the drug Rybelsus that is FDA approved for type 2 diabetes. But I think that, having an oral option is great for some needle phobic patients.
Yeah. When will this be available?
We're hearing 2026. So I haven't heard exactly when it will be available, but I do think at some point early 2026 is what we're being told. So I have a lot of patients already asking about it. So I think there's definitely demand, and we'll see, as soon as we hear anything, we'll let our patients know. Yeah.
Are you concerned at all once these drugs become a little bit cheaper and now you can take it in a pill? Are there concerns that more people will take them? I mean, is there a harm to somebody taking this who maybe doesn't need it?
That's a very fair point. I think we've already seen with GLP-1s in general that there are sometimes patients who are using it in a less supervised way or an unsupervised way, inappropriate prescribing from certain providers. So that's why it's really, really important to stick with a board certified or very knowledgeable, experienced provider in the category of GLP-1s, because I think your success is directly tied to the expertise of the provider, who's your partner in this journey.
Yeah. Doctor, we thank you so much for joining us. Have a great holiday.
Great, you too.
Next tonight, to an alarming story out of Ohio. 3 children, all under the age of 12, leading officers on a wild chase in a stolen car. Yeah, they stole it before crashing into a home. And now police are revealing they learned how to do it after watching tutorials, get this, on YouTube. Natalie Clydesdale from our Cleveland affiliate WKYC has the dramatic video.
An 8, 11, and 12-year-old caught by police after stealing a car and crashing it.
This is our first time in the car.
Well, I could tell by the way that you drove. You suck at driving.
Shock. One word, shock.
Newburgh Heights Police Chief John Majoy says just before 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon, a flock license plate reader alerted his officers to a stolen car driving in the area. Dash camera video shows when police tried to pull it over, the 11-year-old driver took off, reaching speeds between 60 and 80 miles per hour, leading officers westbound on Harvard Avenue and over the Denison Bridge before losing control and crashing into a home on the corner of Denison Avenue and West 20th Street, where Daniel Riley was inside watching TV.
It could have been a lot worse than it was.
You see the kids run off, but they were quickly tracked down.
I have 2 in the backyard right now. You're in there? Get over here now. Get over here now.
Chief Majoy says the trio learned how to steal cars by watching tutorials on YouTube.
It's troubling.
Majoy adds the 11-year-old driver will face charges for receiving stolen property and evading police, both 4th-degree felonies. The 12-year-old will also be charged for receiving stolen property, and the 8-year-old will likely not be charged because of his age. He explained juvenile detention typically only holds kids charged with 1st and 2nd-degree felonies, so they were released to their parents.
Do you think that's problematic, that there's not a stricter punishment?
It's very problematic. That's why we have the problems we have.
He argues there's little deterrent when kids can steal a car, crash it, and still go home the same night, something he believes fuels repeated offenses.
Somebody could have been killed. And, thankfully that didn't happen, but it could have.
Coming up on Top Story, our Ann Thompson reports on the struggle to find primary care doctors and how some are now turning to a different way to see physicians. Plus, escalating tensions between the U.S. and Venezuela, more American forces now in the Caribbean as pressure grows on Venezuela's Maduro, who faces an economic crisis at home. Stay with us. We're back now with our series, The Cost of Denial. A recent study shows that nearly 1/3 of Americans, more than 100 million people, don't have a primary care doctor. But there's a different way to see a physician regularly that's growing in popularity. No insurance taken, but the care doctors say is more direct. NBC's Ann Thompson explains.
The future of healthcare may look like the past.
What brings you in today?
A family doctor you can rely on and get an appointment with. After a decade working at a large health system in New Jersey with as many as 1,500 patients under his care, Dr. Frank Aliganga says he was among the more than 40% of primary care physicians reporting burnout.
How much time did you actually spend face-to-face with the patient?
For me, I would say 15 to 20 minutes. I tend to...
And you were supposed to spend how long?
I think to survive, you have to spend 7 minutes.
7? How do you know anyone's condition in 7 minutes?
You can't. You end up becoming data entry clerk and customer service.
The pressure of the system grew so bad, Dr. Aliganga thought about leaving healthcare entirely, considering real estate or even becoming a flight attendant. But before he took to the skies, the doctor attended a seminar and learned about a different way to practice medicine, direct primary care, which has gone from a niche approach just a few years ago to thousands of practices nationwide today. Direct primary care doctors don't take insurance. Instead, they charge a monthly fee per patient, often ranging between $50 and $150, whether you see the doctor or not. In exchange, patients get longer appointments and more access, plus the same doctor every time.
For me, it just made more sense. The clinic I was going to before that
all the doctors kept leaving.
So we'll talk about the diagnosis.
To see Dr. Ali Ganga, Natasha and Fred Esquera pay almost $300 a month for their family of 5, including Natasha's mom, to avoid the problems of the traditional system.
You want someone on your side that knows what's going on with you, that you're not just another number.
Ali Ganga is just starting his new practice. He has 35 patients and needs to build up to 400 to make it financially viable. Even then, he says he'll make less money than he did when he was in a big healthcare system, but he's happier.
Definitely much happier in terms of being able to practice medicine the way it was taught.
And so are his patients.
Thank you, Dr. Efe.
Ann Thompson, NBC News.
To the Americas now, and escalating tensions between the U.S. and Venezuela. The Wall Street Journal reporting that the U.S. moved large numbers of special ops, aircrafts, troops and equipment into the Caribbean this week, giving the U.S. additional options for possible military action there. That according to U.S. officials and open source flight tracking data. It comes as new video shows the buildup of a U.S. force in Puerto Rico, fleets of fighter jets, planes and helicopters stationed there. Overnight, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth sharing footage of yet another strike. You see it here on an alleged drug trafficking boat in the Caribbean. The U.S. saying one alleged narco-terrorist was killed in that attack. As the Trump administration ramps up pressure on Venezuela, President Maduro has repeatedly claimed the U.S. is trying to overthrow him and seize his country's oil reserves. But Maduro is also unpopular at home. The majority of Venezuelans are living in poverty with little hope of change. Sky News chief correspondent Stuart Ramsey reports from Caracas.
Lying at the foot of the Avila Mountain, Caracas is a special place for all Venezuelans. It's been described as the country's beautiful but neglected capital city. It's a lot shabbier since its heydays in the 1970s, funded by its oil boom. Venezuela still has the world's largest known reserves of oil, but mismanagement and corruption has left most of the population living in poverty. President Nicolas Maduro rails against the United States and talks about the external threat, but it's the internal one that is in reality his biggest problem. When Maduro came to power, he promised to continue with a vision of a socialist state that would look after everyone. But this is what it's come down to for some. A life on the streets, searching through rubbish for anything of value. The booming sounds of Latino music resonate through the streets and the alleyways of the poorest communities of Caracas. They're called barrios. Vast numbers of people live in these cramped neighborhoods built into the sides of mountains. Some, like Orlando, are disillusioned. The 71-year-old now lives in abject poverty. He worked as a labourer, but an injury means he can't work at all now, so he's dependent on help from the community. There's no social services to look after him. He's on his own. His family has left the country. That is as common as the poverty here. All Orlando has now are memories of Venezuela's past.
Oye, maravilla. La comida barata.
It was wonderful. You made lots of money. I used to make 90 bolivares per day. You could afford life. Cheap food, really cheap. There were plenty of jobs, and you'd be happy, have money. Now, there is no life.
These barrios should be a stalwart of Venezuela's socialist revolution and government. But the 2024 election results revealed an astonishing collapse in support for the government in these places, amongst those who actually cast a vote.
Well, we're told by people who live in this area that they actually wanted to vote for the opposition in last year's contested elections, but didn't. And there's a couple of reasons for it. One, they say they were scared of retribution from government supporters who obviously live amongst them. Secondly, perhaps this is more important, they felt that even if the result was that the opposition won, the result wouldn't be honoured.
It's not surprising that a quarter of this country of 29 million people have left. Millions have gone because they simply can't live in a country where poverty is the norm, and corruption at every level of society, from the very top to the very bottom, is endemic. Add to that a collapsed health service, education sector, industrial base and corrupted legal and political institutions. It's hardly a great surprise that Venezuela is on its knees. Stuart Ramsey, Sky News, Caracas.
All right, still ahead on Top Story. With the countdown to Christmas entering its final hours, we have some tips and tricks for all your last-minute shoppers still searching for holiday gifts. Plus, the heartwarming surprise for a young basketball fan left badly hurt after a car accident. How NBA star Trae Young teamed up to help change his life. That's next. That was a clip from the 1996 film Jingle All the Way. One dad's quest for the perfect gift for Christmas. Something many parents can relate to with the holidays just hours away. But for those who may have put off their shopping until today, what options do they have left? Brian Chung joins us now for the last-minute shopping tips. So, Brian, if people need to go out to the stores, of course, after they watch Top Story tonight, there's still places open?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, I'm looking at the clock right now, and it does seem like maybe time's up. But a number of stores are actually going to be open super late today. So Target and Kohl's, they'll be open until, get this, midnight tonight. And Burlington Coat Factory, in some cases, open until 1 a.m. So chug a coffee. You still have some chances to go out there and buy some stuff. If you need that perfect coat. Right. So what about tomorrow, Christmas Eve and also Christmas Day? Okay, so Christmas Eve, you won't have those extended hours, but the big box retailers will still be open for the most part up until around 6 to 8 o'clock. It depends on what specific store you're looking at. But when it comes to Christmas Day, all those big box stores, Target, Walmart, will be closed. The only thing that will be open on Christmas Day will be your convenience stores. So CVS, Walgreens, which, I mean, aren't bad places if you need some last-minute gift wrap or just a bag to throw something in if you're really pushing into the last minute.
Or a pack of smokes for somebody, right? And also if you wait till Christmas Day, I mean, you're waiting pretty late.
Yeah.
For those that want to avoid stores altogether, can you still get packages delivered?
Okay, yeah. So here's the thing: is that even if you want to go out right now, you might just not want to warm your car up, but you could still do a lot of ordering from your phone and have a package arrive at your doorstep. Walmart and Amazon, they do offer same-day shipping options that could still get those packages to your door even as soon as tomorrow. And Walmart, get this, they will allow you to order something up until 5 p.m. tomorrow if it's eligible for their 1-hour delivery. You can actually get it in that short period.
Talk about these last-minute gifts. Don't tell me gift card. Gift cards are the worst gift ever. But what are some good sort of last-minute gift ideas?
Okay, so not gift cards, but there are some e-gift card options that could be great. But hear me out on this, right? A lot of people are using DoorDash. A lot of people are using Uber Eats. People are using Fandango to go see some of these blockbuster hits. So those are great options. Costco, this is a weird one. You can gift someone a Costco membership, which sounds pretty gotchy.
No, that's a great idea.
If you want to gift me one, Tom, I mean, I'm in the market for one.
No problem. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves here, but the returns, I mean, does it happen at midnight, 26? I mean, how quickly can you start returning?
Yeah, so for the most part, gifts that are bought during the November to December period are eligible for extended holiday return periods. It's going to depend on what store you're looking at. Those policies will generally allow you to return things up until January 15th, or in some cases, even January 31st. The exception is a lot of these electronics items and specifically Apple products. So just make sure you read the fine print, but also watch out, Tom, for a lot of these restocking and reshipping fees. A lot of these retailers are saying if you want to send it back, so I would say bring it back in store to avoid some of those fees.
Brian Chung, we thank you so much for all of that important advice. Finally tonight, we got a great story. One young NBA superfan dreamed of a signed jersey from his favorite player. But this holiday season, he got so much more. Aaron Gilchrist has this special story.
Like a lot of 9-year-olds, Amari Boyd loves sports like football and basketball. But unlike most kids, Amari's favorite NBA player is right inside his living room.
You ready for Christmas?
Atlanta Hawks star point guard Trae Young is here with a special surprise for a young fan he's gotten to know.
Tell me about the first time you met him.
I'm at the hospital.
In April, a car accident left Amari paralyzed from the waist down. He lost his left leg and uses a wheelchair now. Talking about it still makes his dad, Greg, emotional.
I'm just glad we're still here. Like, you're still alive. What's up, my man?
The Hawks asked the 4-time All-Star to sign a jersey as Amari recovered.
I stopped by the hospital to see him. When I left, I couldn't stop, crying. I knew I needed to be helpful.
And when Trae found out his new friend's house would need renovations to accommodate his wheelchair, he funded the project, teamed up with the nonprofit Sunshine on a rainy day to do the work, and showed up for the big reveal.
Oh, my goodness.
All of it tailored to Amari's needs and tricked out with basketball swag, right down to the custom-made shoebox bed.
You like it?
Thank you.
Of course, my man.
A slam dunk gift that Amari can grow into, and a new teammate for life. Aaron Gilchrist, NBC News, Lithonia, Georgia.
All right, that does it for us. Thanks so much for watching Top Story. I'm Tom Llamas in New York. Stay right there. More news on the way. We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.